And has everyone had an opportunity to review it? And if so, if there are any changes, please make note of it.
Yes, sir. I'm very sorry. Just a point of clarification. My last name on the meeting agenda, just to reflect for these minutes, is misspelled. There's a T in my last name, and I do not have a T. But that would be it. Everything else looks great.
All right, correction is being made. Any other corrections? All right, may I have a motion to accept the meeting minutes?
So move.
May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you very much. Meeting minutes have been accepted. And I will turn the meeting over to Mr. Rink for
All right.
updates.
Thank you, Reggie. So Jerry was kind enough to provide an update on the revenue, and Cheryl, you're gonna pop it up on the screen, right? You do it. So the traffic numbers, year to date through July it's been 27.8 million. It's 64,000 less than last year, but last year was a leap year, and the extra day contributed about 135,000 additional cars or traffic. And for the month of July, the traffic grew by 1.3% versus last year. There you go. Traffic and revenue, final May year-to-date revenue was 156.3 million. It's 3.4% or 5.2 million higher than this year's budget. The higher traffic volume is driving the revenue in a favorable direction. And versus 2024, we're favorable 26.1 million, primarily driven by the September toll increase. May traffic was 20.1 million, which is 390,000 or 2% higher than budget. As I mentioned before, the extra day last year. PACO ridership and revenue year to date by May, revenue was 5.9 million, which is about a little under 1% higher than our budget. But versus last year, it's favorable by 7.3%. And our ridership so far is 1% under what we budgeted, but 4.4% higher than 2024. And then our operating expenses for 73 million, which is 9.7 million favorable to budget. And the favorable variance is driven by employee-related costs. We have 114 open positions out of 954.
Wow.
And 4.2 million saving on operating expenses is timing related. So the DRPA budget is 11.5% favorable to budget, and then the PACO budget is 12.1% favorable to budget.
Favorable means it's positive.
Correct.
Got it.
So we're under, both budgets are basically 12% under what we budgeted for this year, namely from the open positions.
And where are the open positions all the way across every department, or are they in any particular area?
Well, the highest have been, and then Mr. Finnegan will provide the update. But the most have been the open positions for police officers. So why don't you give an update on that right now then, Rob?
Sure. Good evening, everybody. Our recruitment, as you know, we've worked on for the last couple of years with a bunch of different incentives to try and help with our recruitment and retention of police officers. Up to the most recent change, it was a $10,000 bonus for new officers when they're hired. And our recent hiring, we got 17 candidates. Ultimately, that 16 went to the police academy. One was already a sworn officer, and he is in the field training office or assigned to a field training officer currently. And we have just posted on the 4th of this month for our next process. So between the 4th and today, we have 186 applicants thus far. Again, we had a few less than that last time for the last posting. But then when you go through the written test, the backgrounds, minimum qualifications, things of that nature, that those numbers dwindle down. But we ended up, like I said, with 17 in the last process. We're hoping to match or exceed that with this current process that just started.
What's the biggest thing that eliminates people? Is it education or is it
No,
psychological
we've
testing?
reduced our education requirements to try and help with that recruitment process. But I think the biggest thing is it's just not an attractive field for a lot of people to get into, right? And
Yeah.
then when we get applicants, we'll have just hypothetically 180 some odd applicants, and we'll lose a small percentage through the background. I mean, through the initial vetting process with applications and verifying different things, whether it's employment or employment history or things of that nature. But then when it gets down to the written test, we will typically lose somewhere around 35% don't pass the written test, and we'll lose a small percentage on the PT aspect as well. And then we lose, well, always lose some in the background investigations because people aren't completely forthright with their background information. And then even out of the ones we hired, just out of, for an example, this process, we had 16 that went to the police academy, and out of those 16, we've lost 5 thus far, because in the first couple weeks of PT or I guess a more authoritative and strict environment, whatever you want to say, people decide that law enforcement isn't for them. So they go through this lengthy hiring process, and then when they get to the academy, they have an epiphany that they don't want to be a law enforcement officer. So we typically lose a few or so in every class that way as well.
Interesting.
Yeah. So any questions on finances or for Rob? That answers the one question further down.
And just so you know, just so everyone knows, that's not abnormal for law enforcement across the board,
But
whether it's Philadelphia or one of the surrounding suburbs on the PA side, or whether it's in New Jersey, Camden County, et cetera. Every department is kind of having these same types of issues. We just happen to be one of the larger departments in South Jersey and Philadelphia area. So we have, those numbers seem to be a little bit exaggerated to some degree because we have a larger department.
John, I'm not seeing any hands, so I think we're
All
good.
right. All right, under the general DRPA, there's a question about the fired employee posting pictures on our website. For those that didn't know, it's a former disgruntled worker. It's an old photo from before, and the issue was dealt with and closed. So unfortunately, this gentleman is trying to troll and stir the pot, which we won't engage with him. But that issue is an old issue, an old photo that he's trying to dig up again. But that issue was dealt with on that.
Okay.
The status ongoing legal issue, I guess that was the recent notice in the paper relative to the comptroller.
Yes.
I talked with Mr. Hanson. He indicated to me, and he'll provide more details next month, but we cannot ask for relief, but we are filing a notice of appeal, and soon this will be in the state and federal courts. And as you mentioned before, all the information that the comptroller had requested, the RPA has it already to give to them. They just asked him to pull his subpoenas. So I don't have anything more than that, but he said that we are filing a notice of appeal for the recent notice that you would have read in the news or saw in the news, and that this will be going to state and federal court. And then there was a possible live get together to socialize. I talked with John. We're fine with it. I don't know, Reggie, if you looking to have it at OPC?
That may be the better centralized location. So if we could do something there, that'd be great. It'd be easy for everyone to get to.
So, I mean, it's open to do that, you know, and John said that he supports that and he says we'll try to get like myself and himself and the others to see if we could be there to meet and greet.
Okay.
So just work through Cheryl what you're interested in doing.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right.
Reggie,
And-
John,
yeah.
can I jump in and ask a question? Are there any evening board meetings with the regular board and that are doing any? I remember a few years ago, there was a social that went down to someplace down near Cooper River.
Oh, the boathouse.
The boathouse, yeah.
Yeah, that was the actual board meeting. I've not heard, well, not this year. There's no night meetings. I'm not sure if the chairman and vice chairman are going to do that next year, but as of right now, I've heard of no plans to do that.
Okay, got it.
And then the DRPA CAC website update. I reached out to Mike. He's ready to update the webpage. Guess we had brought it up. He is still looking for the bios and other details from the members, Bob. So, and Reggie, if once he gets that information, he's more than happy to do that. And then I believe he sent you guys back in February an email to you, Bob, and Reggie and Alan with some ideas.
Bob answered back in February.
You did?
I did. I answered him, but I gave him my thoughts but
Okay.
I don't think anybody else did though.
So, I mean, he's willing to do whatever he can on that, but he's ready to update your page. I guess with all your new members, if the newer ones have pictures or bio information, I don't know, Reggie, that's something you would send out to the members. You get that, and Mike, you can just get them to Cheryl and Mike will update them.
I know, John, that one picture that's on the website now was taken at one of the board meetings. Other than that, we really haven't gotten together much since the pandemic. So the individual pictures would be important. I know a lot of members didn't want to do that. So I don't know where to go with that.
Well, if we have the social, I guess we could get a new group picture.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks, John.
Yeah. So, but Mike's willing to do whatever you guys want to. So, and then we'll get into the construction projects. But the first one, Jaleel, the deputy CEO, is the one tasked with the update for the 100-year celebration. And John said that he'll have an update from her to present next month on where that's at, but they are doing the planning for that as of now. So if Liz, the next three, if you want to update the group on the Commodore Barry, the Betsy Ross, and then the solar update, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, John. So for the Commodore Barry Bridge, we currently have two projects out there working. We have the painting project, and they're continuing with some steel repairs on the Pennsylvania approach span. And they're out there installing some underdeck work platforms on the New Jersey side span, and concrete repairs are on the approach truss piers are going on. We will be setting up for containment and painting soon. It looks like we're going to be starting hopefully sometime this fall on that. And then we also have a contractor out there, Cornell, working on a well project, and they anticipate finishing next month in September. We currently have lanes out in both directions and wide load restrictions on the bridge just to allow for us to take lanes for the contractors. And on the Betsy Ross Bridge, we have the painting project going on. They are continuing to paint above and below the deck at midspan on the bridge. There's platforms being installed above the south side roadway. We are also working on steel barrier and painting that on the south side of the bridge. We have lanes out on that bridge as well. And the contractor, I believe that contract is until 2027, but the contractor is hoping to finish, I believe, in late 26, per their last update. And for the solar project, that one is, we gave an update in June 2025, and our next full update will be June 2026. So we don't have anything new put together for this month.
The one that was in June, is that the one that was the press release?
There was a press release. Was there also a presentation, Cheryl, John? Was it just the press release?
I'm
what's it-
not certain.
Which topic was this? I'm sorry.
The solar.
Solar, the benefits of solar.
There
Nicole
was-
did one at the O&M meeting
Yeah.
earlier
Right,
I
there
this
think
was-
month.
we shared it with you guys.
Right, she did share
Yeah,
with
that
us,
was
and
it.
that was a
Yeah.
while ago. That was a while ago.
Can I go back and ask about the Commodore Barry? I happened to drive across it about a week ago, and I've noticed that the approach roads on both and the exit roads on either side are really in bad shape. They need to, especially coming from Jersey into Pennsylvania, going north on 95, there's a lot of not cracks, but just gaps between the concrete portions of the highway. Is that the responsibility of the DRPA, or is that the Pennsylvania's?
I believe you might be talking about Pennsylvania's property. I know we do get some complaints on property that is not ours, an exit ramp, but I don't want to say for sure. If you could maybe just shoot over like a map and like circle it, or just the exact description, and we can definitely get back to you and see if it's something that our crews need to take care of. But I know we have been notifying PennDOT about some issues on some ramps that we do not own. So that could be what you were mentioning, but I'm not sure.
And how about on the Jersey side approaching the bridge? Where does it start? Where does your responsibility start?
So we
Is it
have,
at the toll booths or before that?
it's a little bit before the toll booths. We also have a bridge, I believe it's over, is it 320? It's 322 over, is it over 130? Or
Yes,
we do have the
over
bridge.
130.
Yeah, we have that bridge before too. So if you just let me know the areas.
Sure.
Um,
Okay.
But
So
I
I
know
know,
we do
like,
have our
you know.
crews are out there making repairs to the concrete that we do own, and I know they've been out there working. So if something we need to move up on their radar, I'll just let me know the areas and I'll let you know.
Sure.
So there's like the 4 ramps at that interchange, the 322, 130 interchange. 2 are the DRPAs and 2 are the states. If you're heading, I guess you want to call it south on 130 to go to the bridge, that ramp is ours. And then if you come off the bridge and you take the ramp from 322 to get onto 130 to head out to 295, that is ours. And then the other 2s are the states.
Yeah.
It's
It's a little,
It's weird, but I think what you're saying over Pennsylvania, there's a point where you get off the bridge and then the DRPA property, there's actually a little sign there, I believe. It says like DRPA property lines, but those ramps going to 95 that are all concrete and all potholed, they're PennDOTs. But
Got
if you get that drawing
Yeah.
to Liz, they'll
Yeah.
verify for sure.
Sure. Will do. Thank you.
great.
Anyone else for Liz on any of the construction projects?
I'm not
All
seeing any
right.
hands. I think we're good.
All right, does Franklin Square meet ridership expectations? So far this year, the June average, we've averaged about 3,150 riders a week. July is going up to 3,800, And then the first week in August, we've been over 4,500. And we're clearly seeing people utilizing Franklin Square to go to the Lantern Festival at Franklin Square. And when there's been other events in the area of Franklin Square, we've seen that. So actually, Franklin Square moved up from, it's now there's two stations it's ahead of right now. We have more ridership there than at City Hall on 12th and 13th. That's namely because of this past week. So we've seen some of the riders that we knew would transfer over from 8th and Market and are now using Franklin Square that used to get off 8th and Market, but we have seen ridership to go to the areas and the events going on in Franklin Square. So, but we are actually been promoting the event, the Lantern Festival, and we actually just work with them. And Mike Williams should be putting out a code that people, some of our riders will be able to get a discount to go while the festival's going on. So hopefully we'll be able to push that out shortly. But then update on overnight closure station cleaning. We've been rotating since July 7th. We started with Lindenwold and 8th and Market closed for 2 weeks, and then we moved to Broadway and 15th, and now we're back to 8th and Market and Lindenwold being closed, and we believe it's going really well. We've been able to go in there, and we've seen a reduction of the amount of people being removed from the system overnight, which impacts the days, and we've been able to keep our facilities cleaner than we had before. So this is currently, we went to a 2-hour headway on the OWL overnight instead of a 1-hour headway. The ridership between those hours roughly averages about 60 in those 3 main hours. And then before that, it was, we've only seen like maybe 3 or 4 people drop. So right now we're averaging about 60 per hour. I mean, over the OWL, and it used to be like 64. So most of the people are still utilizing the service. They've just either gotten a train at midnight or 2 a.m. or 4 a.m. So we haven't seen much in change of that ridership. And obviously on September 1st, we go to the full closure of all the stations between midnight and 4:30. But if you look at the numbers, the amount of people we'll be impacting is averaging around 60 right now. That would still utilize that. And so, yeah, so just that's about the stats per hours per station. Prior to us doing this, it was about 64, 65 in between those hours, and we're about 60 right now. The next question is out of service on PACO trains increase. Why? Well, July was the hottest month on record, temperature wise. So cars that were taken out of service had either HVAC problems, a hot car. We will B-zone that car. Sometimes we trip the breakers, and by the time it gets to the other side, it starts cooling down. Or we need to do service to the HVAC by adding Freon and things to that. So that is the main reason that you would see a car with its lights turned out is HVAC. But July was the hottest July on record, and we obviously have a lot of HVAC maintenance to do on that. Has the agreement between PACO and the city been signed? Yes, it has, and we are moving forward to everything to be set up for 9/1 starting tomorrow. If you ride the system, our contractor will be out starting to clean. The electricians will start moving the lights on the stairwell so we could start installing the gates that we'll have in all those stairs, and they will be done before 9/1. And we will have our contract in place with the Center City District to clean the areas of the city's concourses starting that day as well. Then lastly, the plan for schedule changes. Jeff, sorry, we've been very busy with our Al service changes and everything with that. Hopefully, once we get past these changes and get everything set, we'll work on that next. But our focus has been in getting the agreements and working with the city and our contractor to get gates installed. So for those that have been on the calls, we will be installing gates over the stairway entrances, around the red barricades, at 12th and 13th, the 15th and 16th. And when we close at night, the city portion of the concourse will also close. So when we close, we will move everyone out of our stations and then out of the city concourses at the street level, and then we will shut the gates. And that will be from 12 to 4:30. And at 4:30 a.m., we will start our train out of Lindenwold and one at 15th and 16th. And that will be for a 6-month pilot starting September 1st.
John, how did you know it was my question? I'm just kidding. The actual question that I had was, is the gate going to be installed at street level or down in the concourse level?
Street level.
Okay, cool.
So as part of that, the city installed some gates at the landing, and their area of that's been left open is obviously been graffitied and it's full of trash. So when we go to do this, we are enclosing an entire stairwell, so there's no possibilities of anyone sheltering on the stairs. And it will also give us the ability to power wash and clean the stairwells and the walls themselves. So
is the 8th and Chestnut entrance yours, or is that the city's? Do you know? Because I think that has if I'm not mistaken, the full covering.
that is ours, and yes, it fully covers that.
Got it. Thanks.
Certainly.
And John, there was one late question that came in after the agenda was put together,
Okay.
which was asking for an update on the GCL line.
I do not know. I don't know if Liz or you know.
I don't have a full update. I think we can give one next month. I know that we are working on a design build procurement for Mantua Bridge, and that is still in the procurement phase. No one has been selected, but I will definitely let them know for next time, and we
Okay,
can get an update.
I will carry this agenda item over to next
Great.
month. All right, does anyone have any questions? Dan?
Hey, I have 2 questions. First of all, I want to say my wife takes the Lindenwold station to work every day, and she's noticed the difference. I know you're not looking for anecdotal evidence, but she can smell a difference, which is better than other smells. So I think that it is already working. I just wanted to know, and this may have already been covered before, if there's what is the first point after 9/1 that you will assess whether this is a regular thing, or if it's working, or if it's not working? Is it a 60 or 90-day thing, or what's that look like? And then the other, I'm sorry. The other one was, I've heard a threat from SEPTA that they're going to close the Broad Street line at a certain time of night. So I was just wondering if there's any conversation between you guys and SEPTA on that, because those are the 2 trains I would take to a sports game. So just trying to see if there had been any conversation.
So to answer your first one, it is a 6-month commitment. So what we have in place, we are going to run to March of next year. It actually corresponds probably with when we'll be covering the most opportune time for people to shelter is during the winter when it's cold and want to get out of the cold. We've seen more people sheltering in the wintertime than we have in the summer. So this will carry us through the entire fall and winter, and it runs until March. We do have options with the city and then the cleaner for an additional 6 months. If we see this successful, it's going well and doing what we think it will do, then we can extend both for 6 months and go a whole year. And I believe I believe I think 8th and Market closes at 12:30. I'm not sure what SEPTA's going to do. I just read right before this that it appears that they got to move forward with the changes because they did not get the funding they need. So we'll have to see what that is. But I think they're increasing their headways by 3 minutes on both the Market Frankfurt and Broad Street. But we will take into account, which we have in the past, and we've done already, is if there's a big sporting event, we will make a day, a daytime decision whether or not we keep it open and run it, a little later. We've done that with concerts. We did that with some concerts at the Freedom Mortgage Center. Instead of closing the station at 12, they closed like 15 or 20 minutes later because we had a lot of people in the system and we want to make sure that the trains got and do that. So we touch base with public safety, and if there was a big thing like that, then we would work together to hold them open a little longer, that kind of thing. But it's something that we will analyze and make adjustments if need be. Did I answer your question? All right. Is that Alan raising his hand?
Nope.
All right. I thought I saw him raise his hand.
No, there's nothing from Alan tonight.
I don't know. I've been listening to all the stories, and I know, what Dan was talking about as far as the smells. That is a good thing. I think cleaning is a good thing. I think what you have planned for the next 6 months is probably a good thing. However, I agree with one thing. We have a lot of big sporting events. John, do you still get the calendar from the sporting groups? What they estimate as far as people?
No, the one we get is from the Freedom Mortgage Center with the concerts.
Oh, okay. And that's for car traffic, or?
They give the average attendance for the amount of people are going to attend a concert. Anticipated tickets. But most of the acts come each year, so we have a good idea of what events we need to add additional staff and police officers to, and then we have concert trains, what we call. We have trains on standby that we'll send out, and then as soon as the concert lets out, the officers are there, notice the crowd comes through, and then we bring in these special trains, stop, everybody gets on, and pretty much in a half hour to an hour, we can get everyone coming back from a large concert on their way home. So that's our biggest thing that we have. But on the sporting events, we haven't.
The Sports Complex Special Services District, there's a website, scssd.org, and they do have a calendar for sporting events. They publish it every month. But it's not
With
affiliated
the
with us.
numbers?
Yeah,
Is that with numbers of who will be attending or whatever?
they do. They have something like that.
Okay.
But
thank you.
the thing we've seen mostly was some of the playoff pushes with the Phillies, but the Eagles, their Sunday night and Thursday night games, we would see more ridership than we typically would get. So
More than on a Sunday?
yeah,
During-
Sunday day and the 4 o'clock, all those people go over and tailgate
Yeah.
in the parking lots, so we don't get
Yeah.
too many, but it's usually the late night games. I think the Sundays at 8, the Monday nights or the Thursday nights, we'll see an uptick on traffic going over.
Wow.
So that's what the ones that's the ones we'll have to look at and see what goes on.
Plus,
thank you.
depending upon how long the SEPTA shortfall continues, there's some FIFA games, soccer games, big soccer games at the link, and I don't know what else, but there's a lot going on this coming year.
Well, you got the All-Star game.
Yeah. Well, as it
That's the
stands now,
All-Star
they
game.
said if the cuts go through, this time now, and I believe at the beginning of the year, they will not have special trains and they will not have the ability to adapt to add the trains in for FIFA.
Wow.
So, yes.
So John, along those lines, which is where my question line was going to go. It was reported in the news the other day that Patco is not going to increase service as a result of SEPTA's shortfall. Do you see that being the case on a regular basis, or as you just mentioned, all the different special circumstances and events, you will beef up service. However, that will only be for those events, but not on an ongoing basis. Is that still accurate?
Yes, we don't anticipate much change. The only thing that might change is people that use us and then use SEPTA. We might actually probably might see a decrease depending on the schedule, but we do have riders that ride us and then transfer over to Market Frankfurt L or ride to Broad Street, which it's not as bad as their regional rails. Their headways are going extra 3 minutes, so we'll be riding the same service that if our customer rides a train like Dan, he has to go wait on the platform another 3 minutes and might be a crowded train to come.
Right. That will be my commute when I work in the city. So I work in New Jersey now, but if I have to go back to my Philadelphia office, it's Patco to the Market Frankfurt line to 30th Street.
Yeah. So the only thing I've seen so far in this first round was they had it's either 2 or 3. I think it's right now it's every 7. It might be every 9 with
Okay.
the coming change. So
Thank you. Any
but
other
if we
questions?
see, Reggie, if we see something and we have the ability to make changes, we will do that.
Okay,
So it'll be
that's good to
interesting.
know.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
If there's going to be any sort of special event in South Philly, even if it's during the period where the closure would be in effect from midnight to 4 something in the morning, the plan would be to still operate trains in service for customers to get home from the sports complex.
That's
Like,
what we would look to do.
Okay.
Like we can't, like if it's Phillies game, we don't get too much Phillies game, but it's a Phillies game and it was a rain delay and they don't play till 1 o'clock, we won't do that. But if the Eagles game ends at 11, 11:30, and we start to see a bunch of people come back, that's what we'll make a decision that instead of 12, maybe we run till midnight. I mean to 1 or
1.
something like that. So those are the small jobs.
Biggest testimonial I have is the time that I tapped off of the speed line at 3:38 a.m. after a Phillies rain delay that then went into insane number of extra innings. So anything that can keep that going is always great.
Absolutely. Any other questions? Not seeing any hands. All right, moving into old business. Any public events upcoming for
Not that I'm aware of.
August, September? Okay, we're good there.
The thing is our service change, but
Right.
that's the only thing out there.
Okay. All right. Before we move into new business, any other questions for DRPA? All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Rink. Thank you, Elizabeth. We'll move into our new business piece and just a few more things, and then we will be done for the evening.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your summer. It's nice to meet you, Matthew and Lupe.
Thank you.
Great to meet you.
Have a great Labor Day weekend too, coming up.
Bye, Mr. Rink.
Have a
Yes.
good one.
Great, thank you.
Okay, thank
you.
you.
Take
All right,
care.
a couple more things, and then we'll be dismissed for the evening. So looking at our current member count, we are now down to 5 voting members. Bob, you have gone emeritus effective June 30th.
Huh.
So
You mean I'm still working? Sounds familiar, Reggie?
so we're faced with a couple of challenges. So now you have emeritus status. However, due to the numbers that we currently have now, and you are the chairman of the member committee, so my ask is that I graciously ask you to continue that until we can get our numbers up and we can um, see if anyone else wants to take that on.
Sounds like a good plan.
All right. Thank you very much for that. The voting members that we currently have are Strasso, Scott Cohen, Judy, Grace, and Steve Beningo. Those are the five that we currently have right now. We have one from PA, which is Scott, and all the rest are from New Jersey. So we do.
If it would be helpful, there's a number of various folks I know from even some of the younger demographics of people I mentor looking to get into the education space in the Philly area. I
Mhm.
can certainly share this board with any of them who might be interested in perhaps joining if we're looking to get some younger members too.
We need members,
Yeah.
not necessarily younger, older, anyone interested in transportation, bridge, tunnels. We are open to them. So we need to get our numbers up. Still working on amending the bylaws so that we can change a few things. Slow process, but slowly moving. We do have some potential new members, so I know we have Lupe and we have Matthew. Yes, Matthew. So I think these are the first meetings. So Matthew, actually, let's start with Lupe. Would you like to give us a little bit of background about yourself and why you're interested in DRPA?
Hi, everyone. Lupe Diaz, Gutzel. The Gutzel is important in this because that is how I moved to New Jersey. I got married. We bought a house. It's right across from the Lindenwold station. I went from a 5-minute commute from work to an hour commute. Thank goodness for Paco because I don't drive. And that's my main interest. I not only catch it, Paco all the time. I'm living right across the station, so like I see a lot of things. So I'm interested in just having a voice and the things that I see happening right across my house.
Excellent. Thank you, and welcome to the DRPA first meeting. And Matthew.
CAC meeting.
Right, DRPA/CAC.
Right.
Matthew.
Yeah, hi everybody. So my name is Matthew Schwartz. I recently relocated here to the Philadelphia area with my wife back in February from Texas. And so I was heavily involved in local government down in Texas, and I'm not sure if you all are aware of the transportation or lack thereof, but I was a huge proponent of the Texas Triangle, as we called it down in Texas, was being able to connect by rail all of the major cities, going from Houston to San Antonio with a stop in Austin up to Dallas and back down, making kind of a triangle. And unfortunately, because of some lobbying, that failed many times in the Texas legislature. And I was always huge to see that go forward. And so one of the big impetus for us to move up here was the fact that there was public transportation that we would be able to take, that we could take advantage of. And I can think of no way better of being a proponent for the thing that was so important to us in a big life change than being involved on a citizens advisory committee. And I have firsthand, I guess, benefit of seeing that from the employee side of that's what I handled in local government. And so I have a lot of experience with boards and commissions and making sure that they're, running properly, administered, and everybody has a voice. And so I'm really looking forward to spending time here with you all and learning more about the DRPA, more about PATCO, and just being a good citizen to help something that is for everybody. So thank you for having me here tonight.
Matt, can I
Welcome, Matthew.
tell us what
Welcome,
you do
Matthew.
for a living?
I'm so sorry, Bob. One more time.
What you do for your normal activities for work? What is?
I work for the Department of Homeland Security. I work for FEMA.
Got it. Okay.
So
And do you
I'm
work in Philadelphia?
I do, yes.
Yeah,
So
okay.
we're in a building right over by Independence Hall, and I'm a program analyst. So they call them program analysts in the federal government because they don't have a project manager title. And so I manage our mitigation division and all the projects that go with that, with cost benefit analysis and making sure that we can provide funds to local governments and state governments to be able to build up infrastructure to mitigate disasters rather than having to respond to them in full force. So that's a little bit about me.
Well, welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
I have to ask a very important question, though, that I think impacts
Sure.
a lot of folks on here will view you. Are you a Cowboys fan?
I am so excited to let you all know that I am absolutely not. I wasn't even a Cowboys fan when I was in Texas. So we could be friends and it's going to be fantastic.
Perfect.
Good. I was
Okay,
afraid
we'll
I'd
let
have
him
to get
in.
out my Phillies hats.
That's good to know.
Yes.
Well, welcome to your welcome to your initial meeting, and we look forward to you both being part of the DRPA CAC family long term.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Just a few more things. Cheryl, any update on nominations, the interviews for Dan and for Scott?
I have not heard anything. Dan, when was your interview?
I don't think I had one.
Did you have an interview with Tony Brown?
With who?
Tony Brown?
No. No, I did my 3 meetings and then I asked about it and then it was maybe the wrong timing. I don't know. But then I thought I was going to get my answer and then we canceled the one, the June. So,
All right, well,
I'm along for the ride, whatever we need to do. But
if you haven't had it yet, then may I have a motion to nominate Dan to the board?
Absolutely.
Second?
Second.
Thank you very much. So Cheryl, if it's possible, we can get him scheduled for an interview.
Yes. And Reggie, what about Scott?
Didn't Scott, didn't you have one already? Didn't you meet with?
Yes, sir, I did. I think on the 9th of April.
Okay. So it was Scott who met with, okay.
Commissioner Brown, and I forget the other supervisor. I actually, I think they accidentally sent me the decision, which I didn't expect, which said it had already gone through to the audit committee and the panel.
Okay, so if you have a copy of that, can you send me a copy of that so
Cool.
I can update? So then that would make you a voting member, and you're from New Jersey or PA, I forget.
Yeah, New Jersey, yes, sir.
New Jersey, okay. All right, so you can send me a
I'd be happy
copy of that and include Cheryl on that email. That way we can have that decision, and you
No
are
problem.
you'd be an official member.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. I'm at your service.
Welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh,
All right.
I'm sorry if you already talked about this, but what's the breakdown of how many people we need from Pennsylvania and New Jersey?
So right now we just need people. So
yeah.
Right. So right now it's just people. We have one person from PA. We have 4 from New Jersey.
I think there's
It's in the bylaws.
the maximum number that we can have is it 8 per state?
It's 8 and 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're nowhere near that. So we're halfway on the New Jersey side, but we are far from it on the PA side.
Reggie, what's the story with the change in the bylaws? How are we going to do this? We keep talking about it, but
it's a slow process with the attorneys, Alan.
Oh, is that what it is?
It has to go. Yes, it's a legal process. It's not something that we can arbitrarily say that we're going to do. So it has to go through all these legal components.
And is that through both states too?
Well, the attorneys will handle it on this side. What they do on their side, I'm not really sure of their process, or if they have to. Well, I'm sure that they will have to look at it from both sides because it is a multi-state organization.
Gotcha.
So
Thank
more
you.
to come. You're welcome. More to come on that. All right. Does anyone have anything for the good of the group?
One quick question, Reggie. Where did we leave the thought of getting together? Where are we going with that?
Um, we can talk about that very quickly. So we can come with one evening that we would like to do this. We could either make it, well, we can probably make it for one of the evenings that we have our meeting, and we can have the meeting there as a social in addition to. That way we're not traveling. We can make
Twice.
it we can make it a very productive session.
I
So
know I forget who I was talking to, and she was saying that it's probably very convenient to do the Zoom and the Teams meetings and stuff like that. But she says maybe we should have somewhere along the line appoint 1 month together. And I kind of agree with that, because we all work, we all try to make ends meet, and trying to go and do and all that other stuff gets a little hectic. And this seems to be working out very well with the teams.
right, it does.
And I
It
think it
does.
did well with Zoom. But I think the personal interaction, at least once a year or twice a year, would be a good thing just so we kind of know who we're talking to. It's just my feeling. I mean, not
Sure, that's
the end of the
well.
world. Yeah,
So in my professional
that's
world, I am a big fan of, now I do prefer a good work-life balance with being able to have the option of being remote. However, for efficiency and productivity and cohesiveness, I much prefer to have things in person. That's my personal feeling. And as a leader at the hospital, I've been migrating people away from remote to more in person, and you do remote as needed. However, do understand that there is a need for the remote world. We have been remote since COVID. I'm not opposed to having an in-person meeting. If we wanted to do once a year, I'm okay with that. So we can either look to the September or maybe the October. Well, September's kind of quick. If you want to look at the October timeframe for a meet and greet, which would be October 8th for that meeting. That way, it would give individuals to kind of make a plan, make schedule adjustments rather than saying on September 10th for that meeting, which is in a month.
I mean, how does everybody else feel?
Well, I was just about to open it up for feedback.
Yeah, there you go. Bob, you always have something to say.
You know what, I think it would be a nice idea. It might even be a nice idea closer to the holidays when we're, you know, the things are more festive, but it's also colder.
Then
I liked it when we met at that the place by the Cooper Creek, Cooper, whatever it was.
at the boathouse.
The boathouse, yeah, sorry. And because they had a bar.
Yeah, there you go.
So,
Well, that
all right.
sounds like a good idea.
So that's one thought to move it to the November meeting. Matthew.
Yeah, and if my input isn't welcome because I'm not a member yet, please let me know. But I think that there is definitely something to be said, Reggie. You alluded to it of coming back into the office and meeting. There's something that you can't get away from face to face. That is, Teams just doesn't always make it. And so, with the federal government, we were remote, and now we are 100% like that's just not happening. We're all in
Mhm.
person, and that's something that we've had to deal with. And I genuinely believe it's for the better. I mean, we get work done. You get to see those face to face interactions, read nonverbals, hear verbals, meet people, and, people that you wouldn't have normally met because they're not in your teams meetings. So, and
Right.
from the guise of a prospective member, I would get to meet you all, and it's a little bit easier and better to make those relationships face to face and on a Teams. So that's my 2 cents. But I would go for the October meeting. Unfortunately, I'm going to be on a cruise for the September meeting. I know it sucks, but the October meeting would definitely make that happen. So,
Jeff?
Yeah, back when I was running the SEPTA YAC many moons ago, which makes me feel ancient at this point, what we used to do was we'd have a weekly call, and then once a quarter we would all come in for a couple hours. I think, for a board like ours that meets less frequently, I think the notion of doing like 1 or 2 a year as an in-person type thing is definitely worthwhile. I mean, I would try and schedule it so that it coincides with when I'm down there. I'm booked on the dates of the September and October for not going to be around in person. The November and December, obviously don't schedule it around me. November and December, it's the one of the 2 weeks I'm booked versus the other. I haven't finalized that yet, so I'll let you know as soon as I know. For what it's worth, the November one, the day before is Veterans Day, so I'm not sure if people are taking off that week
Right.
or being remote. But yeah, I like the idea of doing 1 or 2 of these in person. It'd be great to, see all of you who I probably haven't seen since college
Before COVID, yeah.
point. So
Just college.
Well,
I-
before
it's been a
before
while.
COVID, before
So I
COVID,
think
we met.
It's been quite
in
a few
person.
years for me for college.
it has been. So what I will do is, since we don't have a good consensus yet, although I think October would be a better time frame, what I'll do is I'll start an email chain and send an email out and then solicit everyone who's on the thread, for those that are emeritus and those that are voting members, to get their feedback, and then we can decide on whether it's going to be the October or November. I think September is a little bit too soon, so I think having that buffer to at least allow you to make those decisions on whether or not you're going to be here or not for that time frame would be a better way to go. So if everyone's okay with that, I'll send an email out, and we'll make a decision based on that.
Great. I would.
Sounds
I
good
would,
to me.
I would encourage you to write something to the effect of, you need an answer, yes.
Oh
or
yes,
no.
absolutely. You see,
Yeah.
when I send the emails out, I put specificity in around when I would like something back. So
Yes.
considering I do this for a living,
Yeah.
so that's why it
No
takes on
wishy-washy.
that tone of, I need a decision, make it by this time, or one will be made.
Yes.
So-
I think the problem is not everyone is as courteous to respond, which is, and
Right.
some people wait until the last minute to respond.
Yes, and exactly. But we'll tackle that another time. But I'll send the email out. I'll put the specificity around it, and I'll solicit feedback on that. So
Great.
good topic on that one. I have one last question to ask everyone. May I have a motion to adjourn for the evening?
I might
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, Bob, you got it. I'll do the second.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Great meeting. Welcome, Matthew. Welcome, Lupe. And everyone, have a great
Welcome.
week. Have a great month. Enjoy the rest of the summer. Enjoy the Labor Day holiday weekend. And we will see each other again September 10th.
Yep.
Be
Thank you.
safe, everybody.
Right.
Thanks a lot,
Thank you.
Reggie.
See you then.
Thanks, everyone. Good night, Cheryl.